Hello and welcome to another episode of Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm your host for today's show. Firstly, apologies again. I've been MIA for the last few weeks. I've had the man flu, so I was kept out of action. But we're back again with more content for you guys to enjoy as the season progresses. Now, for me, this is a bit of a deja vu episode, as the last match preview that I did was in fact Wolves against Liverpool, which was an away fixture. Back again doing a home fixture, which is Liverpool versus Wolves again. If I'm being brutally honest, it's not a fixture I'm looking forward to. I think our last game against Wolves was arguably one of the worst performances for Liverpool this season. We lost 3-0. It's not easy to kind of come up with a list of bad performances from Liverpool this year, as we've been pretty dreadful all season. So arguable to say that is one of our worst performances, in my opinion, especially in the Premier League. I think some may say Brighton, but because Brighton have been in such great form, I think Wolves, based on their positioning of the league as well, you have to say that was quite a bad result on our part. In terms of Wolves, they've been doing quite well, especially under their new manager. The last fixture they drew 1-1 against Fulham, which was a fantastic result. New signing Sarabia scored the opening goal for them. Wolves currently have a very youthful team, especially their midfield, that plays with a lot of drive and energy, especially under their new manager Lopetegui, which must be nice, as Liverpool have a very aging midfield, and it must be nice to have a midfield that actually runs around, causes chaos for the opposition, whereas for us it's the complete opposite. So before I get into further analysis, if you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It helps our content reach to new audiences, so it only takes a second to like the video, so very much appreciated. We'll cover comments here already. Brush has done his popcorn emoji. Thank you, Brush, for tuning in, and thank you for the comment. Eagle Eye Football with the 3 Eagles signs there. I've actually made an appearance on Eagle Eye Football last week, so shout out to Rich and JC for having me on the show. I was also joined by Callum from Coppage, so great episode. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go and check it out, and please also subscribe to the channel. Great guys doing some great work for Crystal Palace there, so make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Back to analysis. So I'm going to break it down in 2 parts. So this is the team that I believe Klopp will play, and then I'll also do a presentation of the team that I would play if I was Liverpool coach. You know, got to be dreaming in some aspect, but let's do the first aspect there. So this is the team that I believe Klopp will be starting this weekend. Now, at the minute, in terms of team news, I believe Thiago is not available. And I believe Nunez is 50-50. I think he's just come back from an injury. He did light training today. No confirmation in terms of if he's returning. So my team selection is pretty much based on him not being available. So just bear that in mind. But in terms of the selection that I have here, Alisson, despite his mistake last week against Real Madrid, obviously still starts for Liverpool there. Back 4, I've gone for Robertson. Some would probably argue and say maybe give Tsimikas a run in the team. For me, I still feel like Robertson has been the better out of all the defenders in the last few weeks, so deserves to stay in the team. Van Dijk has returned from injury and is looking fit. You've got Konate, who's just returned to full training, so it is in contention to start. I think Klopp will start based on the sort of magnitude of this game, because if we don't get a result, even the most optimistic of Liverpool fans will have to accept any defeat in terms of a top 4 chase. Me personally, I think is pretty much out of the woods. I don't think we will get top 4, but there is obviously a slim chance based on the points that we are, and we've got a couple of games in hand as well. So, which with this actually being one of them. So, I don't know. I think we do need to get a result with any chance of even climbing up the table. Trent Alexander-Arnold, he had an abysmal game against Crystal Palace, to say the least. Just looked disinterested in terms of what was in front of him. I will still play him in this game. I think some would probably put Milner as right back. God knows why we play Milner at right back, but we don't have any options at this stage. Having a 37-year-old trying to stop flying wingers is not ideal. But Milner played 90 minutes, I believe, last week against Crystal Palace. So I wouldn't want him to play back-to-back games in that manner. So I think using the youth of Trent Alexander-Arnold would be useful. Obviously, he's not having a great, I would say, last couple of weeks. He's actually been one of our better players since the World Cup. But I think his confidence is very much shattered right now, especially against the Real Madrid game. So he needs to try and get that confidence back, play his natural game, which he hasn't been able to do, and kind of just blur out all the abuse or negativity that he's receiving from the crowd or from social media. You know, you would expect footballers to not look at their social feeds, but they do. So, yeah, if I was him, I'd probably log off and not look at any social media for the next few weeks, as it will only just have negative thoughts in his head. He needs to focus on his own game and try and get back on track. In terms of our midfield, reluctantly, I put Fabinho in there. I think he's been awful this season. His game against Real Madrid, some fans thought he did decent. I thought he was awful. His distribution, it's like he's forgotten how to play football, and that's just me being very polite there. He's lost his legs, can't run around or roam around the pitch like he used to do. I'm sure some will say age is caught up with him, possibly, but it was this time last year where he was one of the top DMs in world football. So it's a shame in terms of how the downfall has been received in regards to Fabinho, but we don't have a wealth of options right now. We did play Naby Keita in the last fixture, and he got substituted half time. So I think that paints the picture, and probably the reason why I haven't selected him in this team. Bajcetic, who was rested last week, for me will be reinstated back in the team. He's the only one that has has legs right now and is doing a decent job despite his tender age. Henderson, another one who's been below par to say the least. Being captain, I think being more of an industrious midfielder, I think he will play a part in this game. So that's why I've selected him. And the front three, I've gone for Jota, wide left. I think Gakpo is preferred to play that central role where he likes to drop deep and try to dictate the attack. And you've got Salah on the right wing. So this is a team that I believe Klopp will play. Now, if I was Liverpool manager, I would probably have a completely different formation. Wouldn't be too far-fetched in terms of what we currently play. But for me, because we're not getting results, certain players like Salah aren't really being utilized at this stage. I think we need to play different tactics, different formations, depending on opposition, or just every game just to switch up, because we're very predictable right now. Teams have worked us out, so it's something that we need to look into. So if I was Liverpool coach, this is a team that I would go with. So back four is pretty much the same, so not much to discuss there. Fabinho and Bajcetic for me as two number six in a two midfield would be ideal. I think it'll provide protection for the back four and gives them a little bit more room to sort of roam around the pitch, but at the same time not put in a hole where they just rely as the DM. They should be able to dictate play as well, but play with another partner as well at the same time. So for me, that would be a more useful setup in midfield. Now, hear me out. I know you're looking at the formation thinking, what's Elliot doing on the right wing? Well, there's a reason why I put Elliot there as well. So I'll go into more detail in a second. But I put Gakpo as a number 10. He's already playing a false 9 right now. So I believe it's more of a similar position for him. It won't be too dissimilar to how he's played in recent weeks or since he's put on the Liverpool shirt. And I've gone for Jota, left wing, Elliott on the right, and I've gone for Salah central. I know Salah isn't an out-and-out striker. It's not a role that a lot of Liverpool fans don't like to see him play. But at this stage, for me, he's been wasted on the right wing. He's not getting involved in the goals. So playing him a bit more centrally would be very useful. Try and get him on the score sheet. And with Elliott as well, I know he's not the fastest of players, but at the same time, he can sort of be like an inverted winger where he comes in and uses creativity to try and thread balls and try and get the other players in good positions and try and open up defenses. So that would be my reasoning for that. But what I can do, I can go in a bit more detail. So I can show you a tactics board where I can kind of move around the players and show you why I would go for that formation and show you the different transitions of how the team would play if they were to play the formation that I presented. So let me just upload the. Here we go. So this is my tactics board right there for you. So I hope you can see the screen. As you can see, it's the same formation as I presented earlier on. But what I would say is this would be the original setup. So it'll be a 4-2-3-1. And then you've got Gakpo as your number 10 and Elliott, Jota, and you've got Salah up top. So the main reason why I've gone for Salah is because Salah has predominantly played out wide in this sort of role, touching up the byline. For me, that's not really his game. His game is to be coming infield and try and be around this area and try and get the goals. He hasn't done that in recent weeks, so I feel like this will suit his formation. Jota playing on the left, but tends to come inside, so it can almost be a thing where Gakpo can drift up a bit more wide, and these two can play a bit more centrally. And that's why Elliott plays a key role where he can be the right winger, but at the same time come in field as well. So parts of the game, it will almost become like a 4-2-2 formation where you've got Fabinho and Bajcetic being the two holding midfielders. You've got Gakpo, Elliott hovering one side to another. And then you've got Jota and Salah. Jota playing on his favorite left side, Salah on the right side, causing the Wolves' defense all sorts of havoc. Well, I'm hoping, and maybe be a bit more adventurous in their play and try and get the goals. So that would be the transition in terms of how the attack can be. If we need to play a bit more defensively, then we could always put Gakpo on the left here, and you've got Bajcetic, Fabinho there, and Elliott on the right, and then you can do Jota as a 10 and Salah as well. So different variations in terms of how the team could be set up. But in terms of personnel, these are the players that I would play against Wolves. I think with Wolves playing a back three as well, this will be quite a good formation to use. We can always utilize, if we wanted to go a bit more attack-minded, we can always play like this as well. So playing a 4-2-4 formation, crazy, I know it seems, but we can play like that as well. If we wanted to go really go throw the kitchen sink and try and get the goals there. At the minute, we're playing very lackluster. It's not how Liverpool normally plays. So I'm thinking a bit more adventurous, a bit more forward thinking. Will Liverpool play like that? Remains to be seen. But at this stage of the season, we've got nothing to lose. Let's be honest. We're pretty much knocked out of the Champions League. We're not going to progress. So we need to focus on our league form right now and try to resurrect any chance of being in top four. Whether it's just climbing up to 5th and 6th, trying to get the Europa League. Look, I don't want Europa League football, but you still have to try and finish as high as possible. Teams around the top four, they're not really producing wins at the minute, and they're quite inconsistent in terms of their form. So it's still up for grabs. Anything can happen. Still 15 games to go. So, well, less than 15 now. This week, 26, so it'll be 12 games to go. So lots to play for. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So, guys, let me know what you think of the formation. I know Elliott one might be a bit of a sort of an eyebrow raise there in terms of why I put him in the team. But tactically, I think it might work in terms of how we're set up, score prediction. So, excuse me. I'm not saying this because I'm a Liverpool fan, but I think Liverpool might be able to nick a win because it's at Anfield and we've got a good record against Wolves at home. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory and I'm going to go with Jota scoring the winning goal. So let me know what you guys think. What result do you think will happen in this game tomorrow? Will it be a Liverpool win, or will Wolves win the party as they have been doing in the that they did last, I think, 3-4 weeks ago? So yeah, let me know what you guys think. As always, thank you for tuning in. I thought I'd do a quick match preview before this game takes place tomorrow. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. As I mentioned earlier, I've been MIA with content, so it's only right that I make up for lost time. So tomorrow I'll be doing a match reaction of this game. So this will be after the game. So this will be around 10 p.m. UK time. But I will confirm on my social, which you can see at OzzieFTP on Twitter. Or if you're on Instagram, you can follow me at Ozzie.ftp. Thursday, I will be doing a Match Week 25 review, as there's 2 games that need to be played. So this is one of them. And also Arsenal playing Everton, which obviously has a lot of importance in terms of the title race. And Friday, I'll be doing a match preview, which will be Liverpool versus our fiercest rival, Manchester United, who are in jubilant full fashion right now in terms of their morale. They've just won the League Cup. So, yeah, not looking forward to the game. But, we have to move on. We march on and see how it goes. But as always, guys, take care, stay safe, and hope to see you all very soon. Good evening.